How beneficial was being on the road the last 2 weeks for this group to kind of get a feel for themselves and obviously just depend on one another?
Yeah, I think when you go on the road, you work on a bit of connection. And we are a pretty super connected team, but being able to get out there, especially Mexico, obviously another country, but really felt like another country. You didn't really know softball was starting. It was just the 4 teams there, and it was just super cool to be in a relaxed environment, but high level competition. And so I think the connection piece is something that we're benefiting from right now.
Coach, does this team defy or meet your expectations when it comes to Clearwater?
I would say meet expectations. I think we've been really big on the process piece and the execution piece, and we've worked really hard in executing pitching and defense and base running and hitting at the same time. And to see those start to come together, some high level pitching and teams that we were playing, I think that's something that we talked about after game 1 with Oklahoma State. Like, we were better than what we showed, and can we be more consistent coming to the park every day? So not so much on the win side of it. It's awesome to have the wins, but just the process piece and their ability to adjust in the batter's box and, against some of the offenses that we're playing.
The Wichita State game, how pleased were you with the response and the way they just kept playing, and obviously things came together in the end?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, you want to get challenged early on to see what you're made of. So, of course, everybody wants wins and wants a lot of runs, but the reality is when you get to the end of the season, you're going to face really good competition, and there's going to be times where you're down. And so do you know what it's like to fight? Do you know what it's like to make adjustments and stay in it? So I think that was, just really good characteristic for us to see as a coaching staff, but as a team in general.
Coach, how much confidence do you have in this lineup right now? It seems like every time someone goes up there, they're hitting an extra base hit. How does that help you as a coach kind of keep calm in those pressure moments?
Yeah, I think as a coaching staff and coaches in general, we've been working since September to give them the tools to be able to compete in an environment, a high-level environment. So, I think when you're talking about the mental game and the skill sets individually and the skill sets as a softball team, for them to come out and be comfortable enough as a team to display that is just really reassuring on that side that now we can push 2%, we can push some things that are upper level that we're going to need, in the run that we want to make. So I think, confidence for me, but, we want them to have the confidence. They're the ones playing the game. So to see that, not freak out moment set in, but more of like, man, the challenge and how can we be better as offense right now against this challenge, Wichita State game or, some of the pitchers that we face. So they're just falling back in their training right now, and it's really nice to see and, excited for what's ahead of us.
Coach, have you seen some of the pressure taken off the pitching staff because of what the offense has been able to do so far?
Yeah, always nice. Always nice to pitch with a lead. I think game of softball's changed. There's a lot more runs being scored in the game of softball right now, a lot more people trying to figure out how to manage pitching staffs. So, you can look at the narrative on the outside and what's going on the outside. Like, for us right now, what we need to do, we need to shore up a bit of our pitching and defense. So that's something that we talked about and identified, and going to get challenged this weekend on some of the teams coming in here. But really excited. But, again, where we want to go and what we want to be, the game is changing, and we got to meet that expectation.
I think it was like 64% of your runs so far this season were off home runs. ESPN put out a stat. How nice has that been? Is that something you kind of expected to rely on the long ball that much so far this season?
We have a wealth of seniors returning that have some experience. So, being able to sit pitches and do some things has been from the experience side of it. But, you look at those freshmen last year with Issa and Jay and, the ability that Kennedy Hart, the production that they're having right now and, is almost returner minded. They're doing a really good job of that. So, I hope we have many ways to win. I hope we can utilize our speed. I would say the UCF game was a lot of situational hitting, so when you can be a home run team, that's great, but when you're only one tool team, that struggles sometimes when you get against better pitching. And so seeing our ability to do different things is going to be a confidence builder for us too.
What are you hoping to see against FAMU tomorrow that hopefully helps prepare you for a tougher test this weekend?
The big thing right now is, you get one day of practice and you got to go out and play. So, this is going to be a challenging 5-game series for us. How strong are we from the beginning to the end? FAMU's always scrappy, new coach and Brittany and what they're getting after with, playing some teams really tough right now. So the record may not show it, but they're a better ball club. So can we handle the scrappiness that they're going to bring to us and the speed that they're going to bring to us?
Coach, we've seen Jazzy make one start this year. She's come in for you 5 times in relief. What do you like about her as like a closer? I know that doesn't really exist in softball, but we've seen her come in and throw like the final 2 innings multiple times.
Yeah, I think it exists in softball, and I think we've done it for a while. And I think that as a freshman right now, to understand that role is high pressure. And so, can she be comfortable in those moments to hold, the lead, but yet still just pitch by pitch mindset? That's a very veteran mindset. It took Kat a while to get that understanding of how to do that. And so we talked a little bit about that and being in more moments. Can you feel that pressure moment, but then step back and be like, man, it's just a draw ball, it's a rise ball, it's a curve ball, and trying to be really comfortable in those moments. So, throughout the season, I think Mac Leonard was another one, kind of found that role towards the end of her season. So we're just trying to figure out different ways and give people different looks. So I don't think there's anything written for us right now what they're going to be, but it's more getting experience in those moments.
Michaela told us that Jazzy doesn't really play like a freshman, and I heard on a broadcast they said that she's not afraid, Jazzy isn't afraid to shake off pitch calls from you. Can you talk about her confidence in the circle? What do you like out of her?
So she's a self-made pitcher. She has a brick wall at home that she goes and throws to. Her and her mom and her dad are very committed to like trying different things at a young age. So when she would come here to camps and clinics, she would learn things and then go back and a month later come back and like, oh, I've learned this. And so we shared a lot of information in her development in high school. So now it's a pretty comfortable conversation with her. And, my whole thing is I'm just throwing down a menu and you're the one pitching the pitch. So if you're comfortable saying, no, I don't want that and I want to throw this, and I'm all for it. So she has very mature conversations in that. But I think it started a long time ago in her desire to be better in mixed speeds and do some things that she wanted to do. And so you want people out there to make their own decisions because they're the ones playing the game.
How ready is this team to be back at home, playing in front of their home fans?
Yeah, I think obviously being in your own bed and, eating your own food and all doing those things. I know our director of ops is probably excited about being at home right now. So being on the road 2 weeks. But there's a special friendly confines here at the Plex, with our people. And I think we're excited for that part of it. But this team is unshakable. They've been in a lot of different situations, and I'm just excited that they can do what they do wherever they're at. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, to be here in front of our fans is pretty exciting.
This tournament in particular, always early season, a chance to build. I believe you guys something like 24-3 in the Classic. And just how important is it for you guys to get that tough competition and then to build off of it moving forward?
Yeah, there's a lot of different visions for, why we play a tough schedule and the lucky opportunities we get for teams to come here and play us here. One is the national seed. You're always in a hunt for a national seed, and you've got to get those RPI games and those wins early on, so that's really important. Two is how do we grow as a team? February is a big time to figure out, especially in double headers. We're playing double dips both days. So how do you get after 14 innings of ball game and make sure that you can be the best team, on the end result of that? And I think every team is different in February than they are in May. So, can we continue to get challenged to find out areas that we need to build on so we can get better on it and then be challenged again, which would be us going on the road, Cal or, playing Tuscaloosa or, places like that. So, so this is going to be hitting a lot of those boxes for us.
Has the hyper focus on leaving bases early impacted stolen bases so far this year nationally? And just how much of a challenge has that been to get your groove with stealing bases?
Yeah, we've been lucky enough that we've been putting the ball in place, so we haven't had to rely too much on the base stealing side of it. Where in the past that's kind of been a bigger, thing for us, but will become at some point something that we talk about and getting after. Extra 60 feet is big for us, but hasn't really hit us too much in the base stealing realm. Yeah.
Looking to A&M, what kind of makes them, or what do you see in them that makes them one of the best teams in the country? Or Texas A&M, sorry, I don't know if I specified.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Texas A&M's returning a lot of players that have been in big games. That Texas series they had for Supers was pretty big, and you look back and they're probably having conversations about one pitch or one moment that didn't give them the win that they needed. And so they go on a mission to make sure that they take advantage of every opportunity. And I know that's what Trish is talking to them about and their staff. So they want to be challenged. They want to be challenged in different venues, so that's why they're on the schedule that they're on. We're going to face really good pitching in the circle. They have a lot of good arms. Obviously, Emily is pretty good, but they have other ones to support her in their journey where they're going power hitting, picked up some power hits, lefty, righty, and then they bring speed. So, if they're not going to hit the long ball, then they're going to go for the short game. So we've got to be prepared for it all.
They were with you in Clearwater. Were you able to personally scout them? Did you have time? I know you were coaching your team, but did you have time to catch one of their games?
No, sometimes they were playing before us. The way that Clearwater's set up, there's so many different parks down there, and I think on TV you see the commercial leading to the beaches, and it looks like a lot of vacation time, but it's not. There's not a lot of time to do things, and so. You got to be laser focused on your 200 feet, and right now that's FAMU for us. And if we do a good job preparing in the fall, then we can handle the day-to-day adjustments, and we don't have to prep since on Monday for the teams that we're going to face. And so I think that our focus is FAM, then it'll be Southeastern, then it's going to be A&M.
Coach, I've noticed that Kaylee Raptor is no longer on first base for you. She's in the dugout. It seems when you guys are at bat. What's changed about her role with the team?
I think, you always try to figure out how you can be better as a staff, and I think she has pretty good connection with some mechanical adjustments. She works a lot with them in the cages, and so as you build that rapport and you start working on how do I get to certain pitches and do certain things, it's nice to have that person right there, where TCAM's a little more on the infield side and the glove work side. So I think our staff is really good at balancing and making adjustments each and every year on what we need to do. But I think that relationship and just prepping them to go to the at-bat and what they need to do in their cues.